Welcome to episode 2 of Osterbuer's fabulous, totally real cooking show. This is going to be a lot more complicated than episode 1. That was over a year ago that I posted that. Today we're going to be making a sweet and spicy wing recipe, which I came up with. Now this is a mixture of 3 recipes, the first of which I found online. I wanted to make super hot wings. Found them online. They turned out alright. The second recipe was, I made it by myself in the middle of the night. And the third recipe was binging with Babish's Inferno wings. It's just some techniques from that one you'll see. I'll link those in the description. Let's get started. So there's a lot of ingredients we need for this. The ingredients we need are 4 serrano peppers, 4 Fresno peppers. Now the store didn't have Fresno peppers, so we have 3 red jalapenos and 1 regular jalapeno. 2 habanero peppers, white vinegar, canola or oil, canola or safflower, doesn't really matter. Onion, garlic, a bottle of Cholula, a little bit of butter, crushed red pepper flakes, cayenne, onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, salt, 1 lime, 1 grapefruit, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, honey, and of course our wings. We're going to need about 16 drum/flats. If you're using full wings, it's about 12. And the supplies we're going to need is you're going to need 1 pot, 1 big boy pan. What would you call this? 1 big boy pan, 2 baking sheets, measuring cups, and a blender. This is just the top of the blender. I don't know where the bottom is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop our peppers. We got the 4 serranos, 4 Fresno or jalapeno, and our 2 habaneros. Alright, so pretty basic. Going to take the knife and the cutting board. Didn't mention them in the supplies part because I just think they're kind of obvious. And I'm just going to cut. Alright, so we got the serrano peppers, and now it's the jalapenos. So we did our serrano and our jalapenos, and now we go on the habaneros, whatever you want to call them. The reason there's only 2 is because we want it to taste good, but we also want it to have spice. And the habaneros are the spiciest pepper that we can get. And we only use 2 because habaneros don't taste necessarily good. I've always thought they kind of taste like chemicals. Alright, so now we're going to take our peppers and we're going to go put them in the blender. Make sure you get seeds in there because that's what carries the most spice. Maybe doing it by hand is the best way to do it. Alright, and then you see all these seeds on top. Get them down into it. Alright, so now we're going to add our white vinegar. We only need 1/4 of a cup. We need something to help liquefy this pepper base. That's in there. And now we're just going to blend on high for a little bit. Alright, so now this is blended up. It's in somewhat of a liquid state. It smells like death. Oh god. We're just going to let this sit. Alright, so we're supposed to let the peppers mix in a tightly sealed. Supposed to just keep it for like an hour, but for the essence of time we're just going to keep it sitting until we need it, which should be in about 15 minutes. It's just letting it sit, I think, would just add a little bit extra spice, but I don't think it's substantial enough to need to do it. Now we're going to add our canola oil to our pan. Don't need necessarily as much as the recipe says. If you have extra, then you might as well use it, but just enough to get the bottom of the pan covered. Since we're using drums and flats, we don't need as much as we would as if we were using wings, because there's not enough space. So we're going to heat this up. We want it to get above 200 degrees, but we don't want it to jump and hurt us. Alright, so now that our oil has reached about 225 degrees, we're going to put in our chicken. Again, I'm using 16 drum/flats. Now that we've put our chicken into the oil, we're going to start a timer for 20 minutes. And while we're waiting, we can start on the real star of the show, the sauce. Alright, so next up, what we got to do is we got to chop our onion and our garlic. Let's see if I can remember how to do this part. Alright, so now that we've peeled the onion and I got super sad for some reason, we're going to chop it in half. Chop it this way. Alright, it's not super even, but it'll do. Trying to not cut all the way so that when I cut the other direction. Alright, so they're somewhat chopped now. We don't need this half. So I like to go through just the big end of the knife. Next up we got, oh my goodness, the garlic. I'm trying to use this thing. Boom, we got one. We're going to use 3 cloves. We got 2. Our chicken's on low heat. We got 3. No, we don't. Now we got 3. Now we're going to finally chop these. Now we're going to add just one of our 2 slices of butter that we need. Slice there. Put it in our pot. Melt it. Make sure it covers the bottom of the pot. And now that it's pretty much melted, we're going to take our onions and garlic. Put them on in. Now we don't want this on high heat. It was on high heat. We want it on low heat. Alright, so we're going to put it on low heat. And just kind of toss them around a little bit. So you don't want to overcook them. We still want flavor from them. And after we put in our onion and garlic, we're going to add our second slice of butter. And let it all melt together for a little bit. Now we're going to add our other spices. Part of the sauce starts with the Cholula. Alright, once we add our Cholula, we're going to start just a little bit. So all the onions and garlic are covered. Separate any onion and garlic needs separating. I didn't chop them finely enough, but that's fine. So now we're going to add a tablespoon of red pepper flakes. I like to add a little more because I love red pepper flakes. A tablespoon of cayenne. That's a lot of cayenne. Actually, I went a little overboard there. A teaspoon of onion powder. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Two shakes of pepper. And a pinch of salt. And keeping it on low heat, we're going to stir until it's all mixed. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pepper mixture from earlier, put it in, there's going to be a lot of seeds and stuff on the side. Scrape as much as you can. As much as you're willing to. And then again we're going to stir until it's mixed. So now it has the spice. This is the spice portion of the sweet and spicy sauce. Alright, so once you mix that, you're going to cut the heat. And our chicken just finished. So we're going to cut the heat there. Wait for it to stop a little bit. Alright, so now that our chicken has finished that part, you're going to take a baking pan or two if you need it. You might be able to fit this all in one. I think we will. We're going to place our chicken on the pan. So we're able to fit them all into one. So separate them so they get a little time to themselves. We have oil on it, spread the oil. Let's get hot on the bottom there. Okay. Now it's time to add what really separates the sauce, the sweetness. So we're going to start with the lime. Cut it in half. Half. Cut them into quarters. Take our quarter limes. Squeeze the juice in. Alright, now in a separate bowl, we're going to take our grapefruit. Cut it in half. never cut a grapefruit that direction before. Take a fork or a spoon, cut around the edges. It's actually a lot easier this direction. Alright, now we're going to squeeze it into the bowl. Why have I never cut a grapefruit this direction? Alright, we put it in the bowl so that if there's any seeds we can take them out, but cutting it this direction apparently doesn't lead to any seeds because we don't have any seeds. Take the grapefruit juice, place it in, and then we add 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, and just a tiny sprinkle of sugar. Let me stir it up. That's the sauce I know and love. It's time to add the main star. That is the honey. The honey, it's A because it's sweet, and B because it thickens it up. So use half a cup. That's a fourth of a cup. If the bees from the bee movie saw what we were using their honey for, they'd be proud. So after we make our honey, or after we add our honey, we stir until it's all mixed for a little bit. Then we're going to put our heat on low and keep it there and stir for 30 seconds. Alright, I'm going to turn it off. And our sauce is done. So now we're waiting on the chicken. We put the chicken in the fridge for 20 minutes and we're going to take it out in 8 minutes. Alright, so we got the chicken out for 20 minutes. The recipe says 30 minutes, but I did 20. We're going to heat the oil up enough so it's starting to jump. We don't want it to be dangerous. We're going to preheat the oven to 325 degrees. And then we're going to add the chicken into the oil. And during those 10 minutes, we're going to kind of fondle with the chicken to make sure they get evenly cooked and they don't stick together. We're going to pour out the extra oil back in so that we don't waste any oil and that there's enough oil in there. And then you're going to clean off your baking sheet if you only have one. If you have another, use the clean one. And then we'll keep that in a second. So we're going to put this for 10 minutes, and during those 10 minutes just kind of stir around with the chicken. Alright, so now that our chicken has been sitting in oil for 10 minutes, we're going to add the chicken to the pan again, make sure they're separated. So now that we got our oily chicken, put it in the middle rack of the oven and let it cook. Alright, so now that our chicken is cooked for 25 minutes in the oven, we're going to pour our sauce into a big bowl that has a cover. We're going to take our wings. Probably should have buttered this pan now that I'm thinking about it before we put it in. That's bad on my part. Some meat's gonna fall off, but that's okay. Just a little bit. Alright, then we're going to put the top on. Make sure it is sealed, and then just shake it. Alright, now that it's shook, grab our wings. Add your sides if you have them, which I forgot to add to the list. And there you have it. So, they're ready to serve, as you can see. Thanks for watching. I'm going to link the recipe in the description. I'll also link the recipes I got inspired from in the description. So, subscribe to my main channel, awesomejasonsel1. Subscribe to my show, Amigo in the Morning. Follow me on Instagram at awesomejasonsel1, at Amigo in the Morning. Follow me on Twitter at awesomejasonsel, at Amigo with AM, and me on Snapchat, awesomejasonsel. Thanks for watching. Remember to always grease your pan and don't cut your thumb off. The things that we're going to need for this are, we're going to need one pot. Keep it there. Okay, yeah, just keep it there the whole time. Stop, you're going up a little bit. Oh my goodness. Oh God. Oh. Spicy. Really spicy. Cut them into quarter. Okay. All right. Hey, hey! Drop it. Let me add. We're right here.